But yeah, so yeah, that happened. All right, and so there's just all kinds of vicious politics, and I even gotten a friend of mine back there. We had a falling out, and he like sided with another faction over me, and we stabbed each other on the yard out there.
Mm.
You know, stabbed each other in the yard. He literally bent a metal knife on the side of my head. You know,
and so how does that work politically? Are you guys both still good then?
I seen him in Pelican Bay, and we were good.
Okay.
We were good. Now, I don't know. I mean, like, it was a brief encounter. You know,
Had it been more, consistent?
Well, he ended up checking in
Oh, no way.
eventually. Yeah, he ended up checking in eventually, but not behind that. It was just he was older. He was a lifer, and I don't know. Some people just they lose that spark, that drive. You know, and he just was tired of the bullshit, I guess, and checked in. He just like, I'm good.
Right.
You know? But who knows how that would have went. He was from San Jose, a white guy. He'd already been down. He was like in his late 30s. And the funny thing is we went out there and we got off. I held my knife downward. He held his forward. All right? And it was all tactical on my end, so I can catch his arm. All right? And just come down on him. And I came down on the top of his head and like ripped his forehead open. But again, it's a plastic knife with a metal fucking tip.
Right.
It's just lacerating and shit. They shoot, they go, everybody down. He had spotters. Because he's older, he was wiser than me. He had a spotter on the yard, literally tell him, it's the Blanca. Like literally, But it was some code word. Like he said something to let him know it's a Blanca. So when we're down, he got back up and got me.
Oh, no way.
But listen though, this is how you pay for your education in life. You gotta lose sometimes, brother. And I remember there's certain things in life, especially in prison, that just calcified certain things in the way I still hold myself to,
Right.
That was one of them. Is that it's never over, bro.
No.
You gotta be head on a swivel, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He knew more than me is because he'd been in more moments like that. He was experiencing these things to where he was smarter.
Right.
That's just from years. He was in his 30s. I was 19. All right? He was a lifer, been down already, like 12 years.
Right.
So he knew he had some tricks in the bag. And that's how you learn those tricks in the bag. And that goes throughout life and anything. In business, politics,
And that's
whatever.
probably what he was telling. It's probably what he was telling, like his guys, like, I'm gonna go school this youngster real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him.
Yeah.
And he was like a little bull.
Yeah.
He'd done a few shoot turns, man. He
Right.
was, he was a solid guy at the time. And it's just, the one thing is that when you're friends with somebody and you feel like they betrayed, you take it a little more seriously, man. And it ended up like a knife fight, dude. That's not cool,
Right.
And we had a policy on the yard, there's no fighting. If it's not serious enough to stab somebody, you're not doing it, we're squashing it.
Right.
And the reason that policy on the yard was because people were getting smoked by the gunners.
Right.
So you're gonna get in a fist fight and get somebody smoked? There's a chance that could happen.
Right.
So let's just squash it. If it ain't serious enough to stab them, don't do it, man.
Yeah. Damn, it's crazy how shit like that happens, man. But it seems like that's just it's all too common, man.
You know
That's
what's
just the way
bizarre
it
is
is.
how it's weird is that I always reflect on it. How the fuck the shit in there become more important to you than shit out here?
Yeah.
It somehow this happens, bro. People get in there and they get caught up, and they forget that is not real. People don't give a fuck about what goes on in there.
Yeah.
People out here, they're not thinking about folks in there.
Fuck no.
But somehow the shit going on in there is more important than stuff going on out here.
They think that their respect in there is being, vibrated to the real world.
No,
Like,
no, it don't work that way, bro.
It doesn't reach.
It doesn't translate. It doesn't. No, it doesn't give a fuck
reach.
about you.
That shit ends at H block.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy because you're willing to die for it.
That's insanity.
That's how
It's
crazy
like
it
fucking.
is.
The shit's upside down, man.
You know, I'm curious, bro. I'm curious. When did you first? Had you already been introduced to the AB at that time?
Yeah, I met a couple cats.
Okay, but were you seriously being recruited?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so at that time, it was already. Once you got to 12 years, you were already being. They wanted you in as well.
Yeah, I already knew some guys. I was in communication with dudes, and so when you're making moves, because at the time they had locked up a lot of those guys and put them in isolation units. And so there's a couple guys here and there that were brand being AB, we call it the brand, all right? That's from like a Louis L'Amour novel, you know, like riding for the brand, you know?
Okay, right.
And
Yellowstone type shit.
yeah, you're riding for the brand,
Right.
and so we call them the brand. And yeah, I mean, if you're moving weight, if you're selling dope, and you're in a place where there's nobody there, there's no AB there, there's somebody like, the dude that's in power is connected with some folks. And it's a communication, right? Let's say you're there, if I drive up and that dude's in communication with folks, I might be in a communication with somebody that's like senior to him.
Right.
And I can just like usurp his authority. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I can just usurp. And now, if that dude is about business and like, if he's a straight up G, there's a more diplomatic way to do that. You just go partner with him.
Right.
Look, this is what I bring to the table. So we got. We kick some of this shit upstairs, and we just have our way here. We'll split it up, make these motherfuckers sell our dope, and then we'll tax them a third of their profits. I mean, that's how you do it, you know?
Right.
You basically extort your population.
Right.
That is the nature of prison politics.
Right.
Is you prey on your own people.
Right. Just
Right.
extracting every bit of juice.
And they willingly just accept it. They're fucking dupes. It's crazy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I mean,
that's eye
that's
opening.
what it is, bro. I mean,
That's
that's fucking life in prison, man.
Yeah.
And you kind of lose value for life. And you just, you know.
The stakes are just different, bro.
Yeah, I mean.
You know?
People, especially when they isolate you to like, you're on a yard with just your people, then you start really like, you start looking for reasons to like kill people and like off motherfucker. I mean, it's just sick, man. I look back on it and I just fucking go, fuck. That was a crazy time in life, you know?
Man, so when did you make it official with them?
Well, they already knew like that I was going that way, and they knew I was coming back. In fact, I remember there was a case with this guy. He had a big trial down there for some cases that he caught there, and he caught a murder there, and he went to trial on it. He was a Mexican mafia guy from. He ended up being Mexican mafia. He got made after that murder, and he called some cats down. And two of the people that he subpoenaed for the trial, because that was a thing that we did. If you're stuck in the bay doing isolation unit, doing time up there in the chute, you were hoping your homeboys can subpoena you to trial. Even if you had nothing to do with them, they subpoena you to get you a bus ride. Because when you get a bus ride, now you're in motion. Now you're like communicating. Sometimes you'll end up in county jails where you got phone access. I mean, and you can have homeboys visit you that have records, as long as they're not on probation or something. You can't have that in prison, you know what I mean? Like, so now you're in play. Communication is key, you know? And television was designed to keep you like incommunicado. And
so it's like just trying to maximize any type
any
of
kind of movement.
strand
It's like,
of,
you gotta figure,
yeah,
these
you're
are
grasping
lifers.
at straws
These are
because you're so
hardcore
isolated.
dudes that are lifers, and wherever they move to, just there's like a crime wave that follows them, like just a mini crime wave, just because of the power and the, you know, the shenanigans they're up against and doing, and, you know, partaking in and influencing, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
But so I met a couple guys there, like that were like on the committee in the brand. I won't say no names, but one of them's dead now. The other's, I'm not sure where he's at. They're both lifers, never getting out. And one of them was a guy that was just an OG, you know, and I remember asking him, how many motherfuckers you killed, huh? He didn't even know the number, bro. That's crazy, huh? He didn't even know the number.
Yeah.
He'd been in since the 60s.
I've done like a lot of like just watching like YouTube and reading like Tom Silverstein, you know what I mean? Like I said, Barry Mills. And,
all those guys you just mentioned started out there with the guys I'm talking about right now.
Yeah.
Right? They were like, you know what I mean? Like, so those guys that you just mentioned, when they got to the feds, it was just wild. They established their own little kingdom, you know what I mean? Elevated themselves, you know? They were just regular brothers in California.
Right.
But they got to a place where they accumulated power and assets. And that is the key to just like having your way, you know?
Yeah.
They were serious dudes, stiff as fuck, you know?
And so you made your way through, through real ones. You know?
Yeah, I started, so those dudes came down for a minute, were housed with us, and I chatted them up, basically expressed I was asked, so what's your goal? And I was just like, I'm going to Pelican Bay. I mean, I got 12 years of shoot time already before I got an indeterminate shoot. It was just from stacking cases and shit. And they had already knew who I was, just because I was talking to someone junior to them. See, the thing about AB is there's no captains and generals. It wasn't structured like that. It was a committee, and the rest are just brothers. And you just had to be politically adept and know where you stand.
Right.
And I mean, like, you'd be high on the hog one day, and then something happens where the fucking ground just shifts under your feet. Right. And now you're like
playing defense.
You're in the hat with a quarter of the fucking brand. That doesn't make you a bad guy. Some of the best dudes been in a hat before. You ain't shit. I gotta do something. You ain't shit if you ain't been in a hat before. You know?
Okay, so you can make it out of the hat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Violence is the word. I mean, I'm telling you, it's about who you know and how you express, how you protest. Right. That's fucking whatever got you there.
What do you need me to do?
No, it's like you don't say nothing. You just fucking kill somebody.
Okay.
Or you say the dude. Let's say you're in the wrong. The dude just got the beef with you. Have him whacked. You ain't gotta do yourself. Have his ass whacked. And it'll silence people up because they're thinking, this dude can still get motherfuckers whacked. I'm not gonna pipe up. Men fear death.
Right.
You know, there's easier outs, bro, than that motherfucker right there. Just because this few dudes don't want him in there, he's about to go. Shit rolls downhill there.
Yeah, there's some dudes that even if they're with the shit, they might just be wanting to bid. You know, they're not with the shit every day, all day, no matter what.
Yeah, he lives and breathes it.
Right.
And there's people that want him dead, and he's offended, and he's doing shit about it. And so it's like, some of them can't. You make it through, you know.
Right.
And you just make it through. I remember, I got green lighted by the mafia, the Mexican mafia. I was in a county jail in San Bernardino County. Got green lighted by them. But I was set up in a situation where I had a bunch of stiff dudes around me, and I negotiated my way out of it. It was just because the dude that put me in the hat was actually he was a paisa, and he was Mexican mafia. And I was like, what? And he had just come to the county jail. And I was there fighting cases, all right? And we can get to that later. That's where I caught life. But, so, let me turn this thing off. So, he's a paisa, barely speaks English, but he's Mexican mafia because he's got weight on the streets, and he's in the IE area. So they make this guy. Sometimes dudes get made like that, right? He's a Mexicano, but he's got weight, you know? And he's got assets, he's probably got sold, he's got things to bring to the table.
Right.
But he has no savvy when it comes to prison politics. So the guys there that are running the prison, they're not Mexican mafia guys, they got the keys from someone else. But now a brother drives up, now he supersedes it all. But he's like, hey, what's going on? So he's actually taking the advice of these dudes, these two dope fiends that I don't like, and already basically like had words with them, you know?
Right.
And it was over dope. They wanted me to give them dope. Like they had they were trying to tax me.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Because they just didn't have the savvy. They're in their own hometown. They're in their own area of influence. And I was bringing in so much fucking dope. I'm from Los Angeles. I'm in San Bernardino County. having my way over there. And I used to break the news off every now and then. They expected it like it was their due. I said, whoa, I was doing that out of kindness. I'm good. Well, the last guy that was here was doing it, and I was like, what? I didn't know that. They were taxing the last dude. Like, basically, you had to give them, and I didn't know this. I was offended, you know? So we had words. They told that dude, and that dude said, hey, fuck him. He's in the hat then. Like, you know, get him.
Damn.
And I found out about this. You know how I found out about this? Some Serenos in my tank. We're like, damn, bro. And these are dudes that I'm good with.
Yeah.
They're dope fiends. They depend on me to give them dope. You know, like they're scammers, bro. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm in the know now. I'm like, all these fuckers. So I write that dude a kite, and I get at somebody on the streets that I know. This guy's dead now. In fact, he died like 3 months later. Unrelated.
Okay.
But it was a guy. He was from Pacoima Flats, and that's where I was getting my heroin on the streets. He was sending it to me, but he was Mexican Mafia. I'd been in Palm Hall, Chino with him years before. But he was on the streets and he was making moves and he was getting bomb ass heroin. I had to cut it. It was so powerful, you know. People were dying. I had to cut it. It was dangerous. He was getting it from Mexico, but so I had to get at him, and then I got at that dude, and I just basically I wrote in English. The fucked up thing is that his interpreters were those dudes. They were interpreting for him.
Oh.
I didn't have good enough Spanish to write. I had a little. I just didn't have good enough to express myself.
To articulate.
To touch on the finer points of diplomacy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Basically, to align our interests. That's all you got to do.
Right.
If you could just align your interests with those dudes, that supersedes the little Serenos down there. I'm telling you,
Right.
I have experience in this, and I already did.
Right.
It supersedes things. All right. And also, like, if he gets a little pushback from some of his brothers, like, hey, I know that guy. Oh, he's cool. He's good. You know? Who are them other dudes? Fuck them dudes.
Right.
I'm in business with this guy.
Right.
You know? And me and that guy from Pacoima, we weren't in. I was just scoring from him. You know?
Right. Right.
He was giving me deals, but he was a friend of mine. We did some time in a hole for in Paul Mall. And it got cleared up. But I mean, like, just things like that. Like, you know, that could have been problems.
Right.
Big problems. And it was all just cutthroat, dope fiend shit.
Yeah.
They were taking advantage of the situation. This dude leaned on them because he wasn't savvy.
Right.
He was a guy on the streets making moves. Big weight, you know, and good guy. He just wasn't savvy when it came to prison policy. So he leaned on these guys he thought were good. They were just cutthroat dope fiends. You know what I'm saying? And think about prison. You will find yourself in those situations a lot. Where there's dudes that are just no good, throwing you under the bus, getting green lights on you because they can, you know. Somebody trusts them, like their word's good to them. So, you know, it's just that's why I say it's a cutthroat world, man. You just got to be able to.
You got to be able to survive and adapt.
Yes, you got to be a great communicator. You got to be able to have that sense of you could just feel the dynamic, the social dynamic within those walls. You gotta be able to just see it, sniff it out, anticipate, you know?
Usually the other one's probably talking.
Yeah.
You
well,
know
look, that's a general rule. And this is anywhere. Time always tells, all right? And so I was there with those guys for a few months. And they're in the next unit over, where I couldn't see them all the time because we were locked away. But we communicated a lot through the door, notes through the door, talk through the door. There's like cracks in the door, the fire door. We go to court together on the buses and shit like that. But at first I thought they were good dudes, but over time I realized that's when I pulled up and I was like, oh, I ain't giving these dudes joke. Fuck these dudes, you know what I mean?
Right.
They're just dope fiends, man.
Right.
They got mine. Our interests were not aligned.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I pulled back. They got offended, you know? And it was because time always tells. I seen the way they were moving over time. It wasn't consistent. It couldn't, you know, and that goes with a lot of people. You could see them, like my last 15 years in prison, I didn't look to meet nobody new because I was already schooled enough to where when someone drives up, I'm not even gonna introduce myself. And as it comes to me, I'm gonna watch him, see how he moves.
Right.
And in 3 months, I might introduce myself.
Right.
You know, because time always tells, you know? And you could literally take that to the bank, even in just civilian world.
Yeah, for sure.
You just watch a motherfucker, and they'll tell you who they are in time.
Yeah, for sure. That
People just don't have the discipline to keep up a facade consistently forever.
Exactly.
The mask slips. It's a
Yeah.
fact, bro.
Yeah, when you live with somebody,
Yes, you know.
you know what I'm saying?
You know.
It's different.
Certain manners indicate
Yeah.
things.
Everything. Yeah.
You know, you go, oh, this dude don't even respect himself. Like,
Yeah.
like, oh, he's lying about that. What? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
Damn.
100%.
You see things that indicate to like character, and it's in moves they make, and that's the way it is, man.
So let me ask you this, right?